Folks, alright, we are down to our final three comics of the evening. You guys ready for these three? Are you ready for these three? Alright, Natalie Perez, you are on deck. Please welcome to the stage Tracy Abel. Give it up!
Any dog lovers here tonight? My wife and I are dog lovers. We had our first dog for 14 years before we had to have him put to sleep. It's always sad, isn't it, when we have to say goodbye to something or someone that we love. And our current dog, he's starting to show his age. He's lost his hearing and can't control his bladder much anymore, and he leaves huge messes all over the house that we have to clean up multiple times a day. If I'm being perfectly honest, when this thing that you love so much and you're caring for begins to become a burden to you in this manner, it does make it a little bit easier to say goodbye to them when it comes time for them to go. Kind of like when your grandparents had to come live with your family when you were a kid. And Grandpa craps his pants one too many times at the dinner table, and suddenly that limo ride to the cemetery is a lot more enjoyable. I was abused as a child. Never physically, but my mother was a master at the art of emotional manipulation. And for example, in the town where I grew up, there was an in-home daycare center called Happy Valley Daycare, and it sat on the street on the way to the city park. Whenever we'd be driving by, Mom would sometimes pull up in front of Happy Valley and slow down, and she'd point to the building and say, "You see that place? That's where bad kids have to go when their parents don't love them anymore." And then she threatened to leave me there. But you know, it's funny how life comes full circle sometimes. Mom's in her 80s now and doesn't drive. So now I'm the one behind the wheel. So whenever I have to take Mom to the doctor or the grocery store, I like to take a little detour now and then. Cruise up in front of the nursing home real slow. Point to the building and say, "You see that place? That's where bad parents have to go when their children don't love them anymore." And then I threatened to leave her there. I've only got one sibling. It's a brother who is 12 years older than I am. He went to college the same week that I went to kindergarten. So you could say he and I never really grew up with any sort of sibling rivalry like a lot of people do. But as it turns out, growing up in a conservative Christian Oklahoma Southern Baptist household, the only thing I ever really had to do to be Mom's favorite was just not be gay. It was quite the event when my brother came out. Mom was a lot less braggadocious in Sunday school that week. But back then, you have to understand 80s Southern Baptist youth culture. And being gay was about the worst sin you could commit back then, followed closely by getting caught drinking, which happened to me when I went in high school. Growing up in a small town where everyone knows everyone else's business, my mom heard that I'd gone to a party and I'd had a beer. So when I got home that night, she started giving me crap about it. But I turned it around real quick. Yes, I did. I said, "Yes, Mom, you're right. I admit it. I did go to that party. And I did drink a beer. And that beer had a head on it. But at least that head wasn't attached to a penis, now was it?" All right, that's my time, Tracy.
Tracy Abel, folks. Give it up one more time for him. Alright, Brandon Killo.